The film opens up with the presentation of an extremely rich person finance manager, Jason, who has outperformed everybody's assumptions by assuming command over the resources of his granddad worth $2 billion. In the interim, his sweetheart Alexia, who functions as a medical caretaker, magnanimously chips in at a facility in Haiti that takes special care of youngsters fighting disease. While Alexia is at her work environment, Jason astounds her by sending her a lovely dress as a gift. Furthermore, welcoming her out for a heartfelt supper. Alexia likewise consents to it, and next we see them together at an extravagant cafe. Tragically, right when Jason is going to propose to Alexia, his arrangements are interfered with by a court request which expects him to go to the court hearings promptly. Jason finds that his uncle has documented a claim against him, blaming him for disregarding the particulars of Red's asset, a resource that he deals with no other decision. Jason passes on the spot and hustles to the court. During the court procedures, Jason's uncle proposed is eliminating Jason from his position, calling attention to his separation from the family and his excessive way of life. Jason battles indefatigably to safeguard his privileges, yet this sad circumstance causes a break inside their once close relatives. This turns them against one another in quest for financial increase. Seeing Jason getting hyper about the trust store and quarreling with his relatives, Alexia feels that he's focusing on the asset over their relationship. She then, at that point, goes with a hard decision to leave for Haiti without a legitimate goodbye. She figures out how to move toward Jason momentarily to say farewell to him, however, as he's so distracted with the claim he couldn't offer her the consideration she merits before her takeoff. Alexia likewise leaves Jason a sincere letter, yet he doesn't get sufficient opportunity to understand it quickly anyway. Later, while arranging through papers, Jason at long last recalls the letter and opens it, finding Alexia's excursion to Haiti. Feeling lost and alone, Jason then looks for direction from Hamilton, his late granddad's confided in companion. Perceiving that Alexia's choice to go to Haiti isn't indiscreet, yet a reaction to the conditions Hamilton hands Jason his granddad's journal, trusting it will give bits of knowledge and answers for his current and future difficulties. In the next scene, as Jason drenches himself in his granddad's journal, he gains important insight from his life encounters. He becomes acquainted with that Red, his granddad, really came from a humble foundation and exited school at the age of 15 to function as an ice conveyance kid. The scene then moves back in time at the point when Red countenances joke from more affluent families during his conveyances. One day, while hands-on, Red coincidentally finds a paper article describing the achievement story of a very rich person. Roused by the similitudes between their young lives, Red quietly takes steps to turn into a tycoon himself. Red has a more youthful sibling and a sister, and his loved ones' feasts frequently comprise of soups. Red shows the paper to his dad, communicating his assurance to become rich and give better clinical consideration to their sickly mother. Anyway, his dad excuses his aspirations, demanding that Red is bound to stay poor. Undaunted, Red leaves a note for his mother and sets out on an excursion, rejecting to acknowledge neediness as his foreordained destiny. The next morning, Red jumps on a train and experiences a man who helps him from getting found out by the rail monitors. The man accentuates the significance of valuing even the littlest gifts, like great well-being. Some other time, when the train arrives at Texas, the man with whom Red has been talking leaps off before it arrives at its conclusive objective. Following him, Red too chooses to leap off the train and strolls behind a gathering of men in a completely new spot. He follows the little gathering and arrives at an area where a farmer is searching for brief laborers among the group. Red, in spite of being the most youthful, stands apart because of his energy and excitement, getting the consideration of the farmer, who at last chooses him for the gig. Red, alongside 5 others, get on the farmer's truck. What's more, drive towards their work environment soon. Red starts working at the farm regardless of having no related knowledge in the assignments relegated. It is here he meets Gus, a marginally more established nearby who beforehand claimed his own farm yet lost it during the economic crisis of the early. Still up in the air to recapture responsibility for farm one day. Proposes Red go to California, where more open positions are accessible around evening time. Gus and different specialists assemble to play cards, yet Red is consumed with considerations about how to gather abundance at a quicker pace. He needs to try not to be reliant upon such work-concentrated positions as he develops more established, inquisitive about making progress. Red leaves the game and approaches the farmer to request direction. The farmer makes sense of that achievement requires different factors and the capacity to lead and make things prosperous for oneself. Red comprehends that he wants to think past day-to-day compensation and proposes an arrangement. To the farmer, he inquires as to whether finishing a task a day sooner will save the farmer cash, to which the farmer affirms that it will, to be sure decrease costs. Roused by this information, Red strikes in concurrence with the farmer on the off chance that he makes due to complete the allotted work one day early. The farmer will reward him with a piece of the cash saved. To his best of luck, the farmer concurs with him the next day when different laborers get up toward the beginning of the day. They accept that Red has covertly run away anyway. As they show up at the field, they are shocked to find that Red has been working constantly since 3 a.m. here. They understand that Red's proficiency has extraordinarily improved alongside the in general efficiency. Red then partitions everybody into gatherings and proposes they take various obligations and work as assuming they are at a sequential construction system with his administration. They figure out how to finish their work one day sooner. Consistent with his promise, the farmer rewards Red with higher wages and acclaims his outstanding skills. Later, Red gets down to business to send some cash back home to purchase medications for his mother. Right then, he strikes up a discussion with an apparently rich individual. Seeing his altered expensive belt, the man questions Red's want to go to California, recommending that there is a wealth of valuable open doors in Texas connected with oil. In spite of the fact that he doesn't give a direct answer, a short time later, while elapsing a shop on the road, Red is enamored by a delightful young lady named Hannah. Incapable to take his eyes off her, he remains there in amazement. Hannah heartily welcomes Red and welcomes him to a young dance party being held at the school exercise center, pulled in by her excellence. Red promptly acknowledges the greeting. Around evening time, Red spruces up and joyfully goes to the occasion, where he strongly admits his sentiments to Hannah. He even goes with her home, and during the prodding of Hannah's brother by marriage. During their discussion, Red emphasizes his assurance to turn into a extremely rich person. Sometime perceiving Red's aspiration, Hannah chooses to take him to meet the school chief, trusting he can take a selection test and sign up for concentrate anyway. Red accepts he can instruct himself and notices effective people who accomplished significance absent a lot of conventional training. Later, paying attention to Red's convictions, the head accentuates the significance of schooling. In any case, feels free to his desire. To substantiate himself, Red rapidly works out the response to a perplexing duplication issue referenced by the head. He likewise examines the pathology of skin sickness on the chief's hands, showing that somebody as instructed as the chief procures just an unobtrusive yearly pay. Red communicates disappointment with bringing in so little cash. On the other hand, Hannah feels frustrated by Red's presentation, detecting that his outward certainty covers his internal apprehensions. Also, shortcomings. The following day, Red goes to class, fulfilling Hannah that he paid attention to her recommendation. Their bond reinforces as they return to school and partake in their time together. One day during their date at a bistro, the couple hear news about the conflict breaking out. Explicitly, the Japanese assault on Pearl hold on to with an inclination that he necessities to safeguard his country. Red then, at that point, chooses to enlist in the military by lying about his age. Next, he doesn't have the boldness to converse with Hannah until he's going to leave. Hannah emphatically contradicts his choice, yet Red demands joining the armed force to show off his abilities and battle for what he merits. They contend enthusiastically, and Hannah, upset, pronounces that she won't sit tight for him on the war zone. An official doles out a frightened enroll to convey a cover to the forefronts. Decisively, Red advances forward, takes the cover, and races to the front. He tracks down cover in a foxhole and meets Gus, who was likewise at the farm. After a brief discussion, Red pushes forward. However, barely evades a cannonball. Gus, seeing the peril, requires his colleagues to cover him and fearlessly races to save Red. Time elapses, and the scene movements to the year 1955, when Red has turned into an oil driller. Sadly, karma isn't on his side, and he neglects to track down unrefined petroleum. By this time, Red and Hannah have, as of now, hitched and are the guardians of 4 kids. Anyway, the absence of capacity to find unrefined petroleum represents a monetary danger to their family. Feeling beat, Red down recollects his dad.